If you're over 60, that home-style Salisbury steak in your freezer may be less than half real beef. The rest? Binders, soy protein, and a gravy built from powdered mixes and flavor enhancers. That's not comfort. That's chemistry. Stay with me. In the next minutes, I'll show you the red flags on the box, words like textured, modified, and protein blend, and why that salty, paste-like bite leaves you hungry, heartburn why, and wiped out. Once you see the tricks, you'll know which dinners to skip, and what to grab instead. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great, thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video. That home-style steak that smells like Sunday dinner. The first red flag hides in 3 words on the box: beef and binder. Let's start with the claim you need to know. In a lot of freezer-ale Salisbury steaks, real beef is not the main event once you count the soy protein, modified starch, and added water. By weight, the filler stack takes the lead. The patty looks beefy. The math says otherwise. You expect a pan-seared patty and rich drippings. You get a pressed meat blend glued with starch and soy, then buried under a gravy made from powders to fake depth.
So what's driving consumers to these steakhouses, and what makes them a standout in the restaurant sector?
Value steakhouses exist in kind of the sweet spot where it's tough to replicate the experience. I think that's why you've seen Roadhouse and Longhorn deliver trends that are, above what the industry's seeing.
Texas Roadhouse and Longhorn Steakhouse parent company Darden Restaurants have significantly outperformed the S&P over the past 5 years. Darden Restaurants owns a number of chains besides Longhorn.
It holds shape when frozen, then turns loose and gummy when hot. Flip the box. If you see textured vegetable protein, isolated soy protein, or a protein blend near the top of the list, that is your tell. Those are not sprinkles. That is the scaffold holding the patty together, and it crowds out beef. Why lean on binders? Cost cuts. Water retention to bump weight. Freeze-thaw stability so it survives transport and a long shelf life. But the trade-off is thin flavor, so sodium gets dialed up to make it taste like something. More salt, less steak. Bite into it and the truth shows up fast.
The past couple years have been challenging for the restaurant industry, especially the full-service dining sector. In 2024, Texas Roadhouse became the biggest casual dining restaurant, surpassing Olive Garden, who held the top spot since 2018. Between 2019 and 2024, the two companies' sales are up over 55% and over 80%.
It is like a sponge soaked in salty gravy, soft bite, quick collapse, no chew. Real beef pushes back. This just gives up. Now the gravy. Watch for hydrolyzed proteins, yeast extract, caramel color, and modified food starch. That quartet builds a flavor wall that masks weak meat and delivers thickness without real drippings. It coats your mouth, it does not taste like a pan. Here are the words that should make you pause: textured, modified, protein blend, caramel color, flavorings. You only need a 2-step scan to dodge it. Payoff: what makes up more than half? A filler matrix of soy protein and starch plus added water, not beef. Payoff: why does the gravy taste like salty paste? Powdered base is thickened with starch and boosted with flavor enhancers that cling instead of savor.
Where do things stand as a whole with the restaurant industry, particularly these longtime chains that have been struggling?
Yeah, I think that a lot of these efforts to sort of revitalize and reignite some of these older brands have been successful.
Just 2 years ago, Cracker Barrel brought in CEO Julie Masino to refresh the brand. But the struggle to lure new customers and keep nostalgia alive is a shared one.
You can spot this in 5 seconds. Top 3 ingredients and the sodium line, before it ever lands in your cart. If the box says protein packed, why are you hungry an hour later? The answer lives in the first 3 ingredients. Let's start with a scan you can do in 10 seconds. First, ingredients are listed by weight. Read the first 3. If they scream pasta, water, and sauce base, you already know the story. Next, check sodium per serving. Then look at protein per 300 to 400 calories. If you need a magnifying glass and a math degree, that meal probably leans on starch, not real protein. Front labels sell classic and home style. Flip it and the back spells out the fine print. Chicken dishes hide behind mechanically separated poultry, and the sides sneak in processed cheese product. The words are cleaned up. The parts are still cheap. Take chicken Alfredo. The banner says white meat chicken. The list says mechanically separated chicken or a vague chicken with rib meat. The sauce shows oil, whey, and starch doing the heavy lifting. That is not cream and stock. That is a sauce kit. Here is why you feel the crash. Meals built on refined starch with lots of sodium and little true protein digest fast. You get a spike, then a sag. The bloat comes from salt pulling in water. You do not get steady energy. You get a rebound snack. Breakfast bowls play the same game. Sugar lands in the top 5 ingredients. The cheese is an oil blend shred that melts into a slick, not a tangy bite. Plenty of salt, not much staying power. Use guardrails. Keep sodium under about 600 milligrams per serving. Aim for at least 15 to 20 grams of protein in a meal-size portion. Get fiber from real vegetables or beans, not just a dusting of starch. You might want to keep a short no-go list handy and a swap list that actually nukes well. Payoff, red flags, textured or isolated soy protein, protein blend, modified food starch, hydrolyzed protein, mechanically separated poultry, processed cheese, caramel color. Payoff, how much chicken in that Alfredo? Often far less than pasta and sauce. If chicken is not top 3, it is a garnish. You do not need to swear off the freezer aisle, just upgrade your picks and you will feel the difference by lunchtime. If the first bite hits as salt and paste, your label probably says modified and protein blend. Your body reads that faster than your eyes. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and drop the worst homestyle label you found this week in the comments. Share the phrases that tripped you up. We will vet them on the next episode and call out the tricks as a group. Keep the freezer, skip the fakery. Learn the codes, save your money, and eat like you mean it. Start with those first 3 ingredients and the sodium line, and the rest gets a lot easier.